How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of BoxTalk. Today is the welterweight division. It's so hot right now. So much fights are going on, so much contenders, so much titles, things are changing hands, people are winning, people are losing, people are getting knocked out quickly. Ade, what's going on?
You know, the welterweight division almost disappeared for a little while. And the only reason it disappeared is because everyone was talking about Pac May. What's going to happen? And them two are going to fight. And it's almost like everyone is falling asleep on what's coming.
Yeah.
And what's coming is a fucking tidal wave of welterweight contenders that all are calling out Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Every single one of them want that money fight. They don't want the money fight because they want the money. They want the fight because they genuinely believe they can win. Yeah. There is about 13 fighters behind Mayweather, and I'll say Pac. No, Mayweather, because I'll put Pac within that contender. I don't think he generally beats every single one in there that think they want the fight and think they're second best. And I think right now it is easily the hottest division in boxing right now.
It's one of the divisions there which is it's funny when the people are stacked up. You've got the new young bloods, the contenders, the people that came out of the blue, the Thurmans and the Porters, whereas like the past 6 months or so, they just came out and said, "Bow, I'm here, and I'm taking these titles. I'm going for a title shot." And people just didn't even see them coming. Yeah. You've got the resurgence of guys like Collazo, who's again a former champion, a good fighter, who again out of nowhere just come back after her hiatus and moving on. You've got long-term contenders who ain't proven, like Kell Brook, who's still holding a high ranking, that's going for his title shot apparently with Porter shortly.
Pretty much done now.
Yeah, I mean, then you've got the standard guys, the Bradleys.
Bradley's a standard guy now. Wow.
The Bradleys.
Probably number 2 in the division.
The Bradleys, the Malinagis, the guys that's been there for a long time. Yeah. The Guerreros, they're there. We know who they are. And then you also got the guys coming up in weight. Garcia said he's coming up in weight. You got Khan's making his first division fight into the weight class officially at 147. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And the good thing is, because there are literally a pot of 12 guys, we've been crying out for fights, we finally get good fights. And we are getting good fights, to be fair. You know, we've definitely got Brook Porter, that seems to be signed. We had Porter Malignaggi before that. Before that, we had Judah Malignaggi. Before that, we had Devon Alexander versus Porter. Guerrero says he's going to name who's next opponent. It's going to have to be someone good. Andre Berta's coming back from injury. He's not finishing the division yet. It's ridiculously stacked. I think the thing is, it's almost like the heavyweight division, and I'll tell you why I think that. When we had Vitali there, and look, Vitali is the dominant one. Yeah. Vladimir might have the record of beating everyone, but Vitali was the king of that division. As soon as he's gone now, finally we're getting heavyweights. Yeah. But the good thing about the welterweights is that they're better than the heavyweights. Yeah. These are legitimate guys that can box and have proven records. Remember, you got a lot of these guys in the welterweight division that are 2, 3, and 4 weight world champions. These ain't no bums.
That's what I was about to say. All the guys except for the up-and-comers are former world champions. Yeah. So which means they've been there, they've tasted the glory, and none of them are old in the division. I mean, to be fair, Mayweather must be the oldest guy in the division. Yeah. I mean, none of these are old guys. All these are fresh guys, still in their prime, that can still play on you and put it on. And on any given day, I think all of them could beat each other, take out Mayweather.
Yeah, and we heard recently, again, rumors, Oscar de la Hoya trying to put out almost like a white flag to top rank and say, look, let's do something. If that happens, then you got the likes of Probodnikov, you got Brandon Rios that can move up in weight, you got Alvarado that can definitely make 147, Marquez wants to make 147. It's stupid right now. It's absolutely stupid.
It's so hard right now to define who's where in the division. I think generally everyone could agree maybe on the top 2, maybe top 3. After that, it's down to your personal choice of who you think has a skill. I mean, a lot of people are high on Thurman right now. I think he's a very good fighter, but I think he needs to look 1 or 2 more fights to get to that level.
I agree.
But then you look at someone like Sean Porter, who came out and took out Paulie Malignaggi in 4 rounds. I mean, that is an unbelievable performance, no matter how you put it.
Unreal.
The explosiveness and power he showed in that fight will put fear into most guys in the division.
I agree. Look, I saw Paulie Malignaggi came on ringside recently, and he was like, he didn't expect that power. Yeah. He almost tried to say there might be something a bit under. I felt that he tried to say there's something a bit dodgy. Yeah. I'm not gonna obviously start labelling Porter like that, but you look at Porter's record before, he wasn't doing that to people. Malignaggi doesn't go down. That's one thing we know about Malignaggi. He gets hit. He's been hit by stronger and bigger guys. Doesn't move. Porter hit him with a jab. He felt it. And we saw, I've never ever seen Malignaggi crumble like that. Ever. Do you know what I mean? To the point where people are saying, set up fight. So Porter's obviously got huge power. But the only thing is, he almost didn't have no respect for Malignaggi's punches.
Yeah, exactly.
Kell Brook hits him back
Yeah.
and a bit more respect. I don't know who I'll make favourite for that fight. It has to be Porter, but that's another video. We'll talk about that another time.
See, again, just touch on the Kell Brook Porter situation here. Again, with Kell Brook, which makes it hard for Kell Brook, where, in my belief, we still know what he really has.
Yeah.
We don't know what he really has right now. And much again, he's one of the guys that I still see. He's getting his title shot, but I see him more as a borderline contender than a legit contender because he's an unknown quantity.
Yeah, out of every single name we've named, and I think we've named 14, maybe 15 guys, correct us if we haven't, Kell Brook is the only one. And people might say, why the only? Because every other single one we've mentioned has fought one of their peers.
Exactly.
Whether they've been knocked out or lost, we kind of know exactly what they've got. Kell Brook's the only one, and don't say Sinchenko, don't say, what's the other guy, Carson Jones. He hasn't fought anyone yet.
If you look at the division and look at marquee names, title shots, contenders, number contenders, interim titles, all that type of stuff, everyone is in the mix except that one person. And as much as he could throw the spanner in the works and he has the skill to do it, it's unknown. If you look at someone like Amir Khan, who again has been around as long as Kell Brook, and look at who he's fought, and he's not even fought at 147 yet officially. Look what he's done already and where he's at stature-wise compared to Kell Brook.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at someone like Eddie Hearn and blame Eddie Hearn on this one. I really do. As a promoter, you look at what Furman's done. And Furman and I mentioned it on the video before, they're very similar in terms of where I think they're ranked. They're probably one or the other between them. Furman has recently fought Soto Carras, another name, Julio Diaz, who definitely has a name. Why hasn't Kell Brook got people like that on his record at least? Kell Brook hasn't got no name on his record. It's really embarrassing. And the funny thing is, they're going to put him in with Porter. He loses to Porter, people are going to think that's it, what's he got? And it's not a shameful loss, but because they've been waiting to see what this guy has, Porter's come from nowhere now to already steal it.
Again, another guy we forgot about, you mentioned with Porter, is Devin Alexander. He's still hanging around in the division. He's going to be having a fight shortly as well. And I think, take out his lack of power, I still think he's got a legit shot against anyone on any given night. His style, his speed, his counter punching, and his over athleticism is unquestionable. His mindset seems a little weak concerning, not weak.
No, you question after the Timothy
you question if he really wants to go in that hard grafting fight. But he stood toe to toe with bloody Randy Rango a few years ago.
Yeah. Put Rango down. No one's ever done that.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. So you know he could when he wants to put it on, he can put it on. Taking this little break he's had since his loss, again, you put him in anyone in the division, and on any given night, they all can win. Yeah,
there's two guys for me that I think have big question marks for different reasons. Robert Guerrero, what's he done after the Mayweather fight? There wasn't really much talk of injuries, so you kind of wonder: has he spent all that big money? Is he serious now? He's obviously going to have to take a massive step down from the big lights of Mayweather. I think he's got a lot to offer. I think Robert Guerrero is one of the best boxers in the division. I don't know if he can carry the weight for 147. He doesn't seem to have the power at 147. Take away the Andre Berta beating. We see what's happened to Andre Berta recently, so that takes a bit of gloss on it. I think Robert Guerrero has a lot to offer at 147, but is the size too much for him?
Him in his fight with Aiden and Berto, they seem where he kind of overwhelmed with volume, not with solid boxing.
Not with boxing.
It was more, I'm going to outwork you, outpunch you, and try to make it into a slugfest. That all sounds good when you're fighting guys who are maybe not as physically strong. But with guys, like I said, like Porter, like Thurman, again, like even like a Provodnikov, you cannot fight that type of style against guys like that. You're going to have to put more in the tank. And I don't know if he... Not that I don't know. We know he's great at the lower weight classes. At the higher weight classes, can he hold that type of pressure?
Okay, what about the two guys that everyone's talking about definitely going to come up in weight? Danny Garcia, Lucas Matisse. Can they carry their power up? Both we know have got serious power. Matisse has been exposed recently in his last couple of fights. He's been put down. He got put down recently again by Molina. Can he go up in weight? Can he make a difference?
I think if anyone could go up in weight and handle it more, it is Garcia. Because Garcia is very heavy set, very fit. He might benefit a little bit more from the weight because he looks like he's struggling with the weight and draining himself out. But I see Garcia similarly like a Miguel Cotto, where a guy, he's going to top out at 147. I mean, he's not going to have much more after that. So I think for him, he's got... People are trying to put him on pound-for-pound rankings. He's got former world champion. I think if he goes up to 147, he needs to go make a title run straight away. As I'm the champ coming up, I want a title shot. Normally when you got a title in the weight below, you instantly get a title shot with champion above. And most sanctioned bodies do that, so hopefully he can get a shot like that. Matisse reminds me of one of those guys who's got it all, he's got the power, but he loves his power too much.
Yeah, he always loads up.
That loads up and makes him reckless. And at 147, if he gets reckless on one of these guys, he'll get put down. I think he could put anyone out if he lands clean, but you got to do it behind your solid boxing. And recently, especially with the fanfare what he gets from his knockouts, he's fallen in love with his power too much for my liking.
Reminds me of Maidana a bit. When Maidana first came on the scene, again, he held that power, and he loaded it up, got beat, went to Robert Garcia, he's improved his boxing, refined himself now, and we're seeing a different Maidana. Can Matisse do that?
Possibly, but I don't know. It's like, see with Maidana, even when he had drawn the hurt, he didn't overkill it to go for a knockout. He used his boxing and composed himself and, you know, tried to pick his shots, which is the smarter thing to do. Where if he forced it, he might have stopped Broner. But the smarter thing to do is box and use your skills. Whereas Matisse, from round one, it's go. And that's his downfall. And I don't think any really changed that. But Maidana was never like that. Maidana was kind of, again, slugging, wearing you down. He wasn't so shoot off the bat so wild.
Okay, finally, before we go very quick on, let's talk about a British guy. Amir Khan, going up, obviously, as we know, from 140. He said a couple of fights. He had one fight at 143 with Julio Diaz. We saw Furman done to Julio Diaz. Does that take a shine away from what Amir Khan does? Can Amir Khan do anything? Is Collazo too big for him? Or does it matter if he loses to Collazo? Does he still have a place in the division?
I think the Furman beating of Diaz was more to injury more than to Thurman.
The rib problem.
So the rib problem. So even though the punch caused the injury,
that's true.
You have to give Furman the credit for it. But it was an injury. We didn't get to see what Diaz was doing. And before the injury, Diaz did start to heat up a little bit as well and tagged Furman a couple of times, was making a fight of it. He wasn't really too scared of the power coming back at him. Even though Furman is known as a big puncher. Khan, I think could do better at 147 overall. But, you know, with Khan, you never know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? If Khan boxes well, he could beat a lot of the guys in the division. But I think he's always going to have a problem with explosive guys or guys who are good counter punchers. And if you're looking at who he could fight right now and with his name, he should stay by the top of the division and go for the likes of Guerrero, maybe a Pacquiao, maybe a Bradley, the guys over there. The guys that are going to actually put it on him quick, I don't think he should fight. Like the guys like Porter.
Just before we go, very quickly, look, Mayweather, superstar of the division. He's probably gone in a couple of years' time. Who out of all the guys we just mentioned has the best potential? Give you 30 seconds on this one. Who has the best potential to become that superstar? Maybe not in terms of pulling power, because Mayweather does it with what he does outside the ring as well. But who has the best potential to be the guy that takes the welterweight division to another level and hang there for another 5 or 6 years?
Taking out the guys who've been there for the past 2-3 years, the
30 seconds, very quickly.
everything, I'm going with Keith Thurman.
Keith Thurman?
I'm going with Thurman. I like him. He's a likeable guy, entertaining style, could punch, could box. He's getting good numbers. He's going to be a world champion, I believe, within the next year. I think his style of boxing will be very liking for the fans out there.
Guys, there you go. See, he's Sam Thurman. I'm saying a guy we haven't really mentioned today, only because he dropped down to 140. I saw his interview recently. He looks a bit more serious. He's gone back home to train. He's out of the clubs. He's not fucking girls without condoms anymore. Adrian Broner. I think we're sleeping on him. I remember people forget he's only 24 years old. There's a lot of potential to him. But guys, no, you read your
Let him come up first.
Guys, you let him come up. It's true.
Let him come up
hey,
first.
but he has come up. He has beat Malignaggi. Did okay against Maidana. That's not a problem. But guys, who do you think? We mentioned a huge amount of welterweights because the division is that good. Behind Mayweather, and I say behind Pacquiao, who's the next best? We seem to have like a list of about 14 guys that all think they can beat each other. Who's the next best of the world? Who is going to take the division to that next level where Mayweather and Pacquiao disappear? Which they will in the next couple of years. Leave your comments below. Email us at
BoxTalk@hotmail.co.uk.
And guys, thanks for tuning in for another edition of Box Talk. Remember, for all your latest boxing news, reviews, anything about the sport, check out ringnews24.com. And thanks for tuning in for this special welterweight edition.